You know, when you picture a war hero, you probably think of a soldier, right? A person on a battlefield? But what if I told you that some of the bravest, most decorated heroes in military history weren't even human? Well, today, we are diving into the absolutely true stories of animals who became decorated soldiers.
I mean, let's start with this. Does this sound crazy? Can a simple pigeon, a bird, really be awarded one of the highest military honors for valor in the middle of a war?
And, okay, let's just push it one step further. Can a full-grown Syrian brown bear not only join the army, but actually earn a rank, become an official corporal? The answer to both of those questions is, unbelievably, yes. So stick around, because you have to hear how this happened. We're going to start our journey in the skies over Europe during World War II, with some of the most reliable communicators you could ever ask for, carrier pigeons.
So, let me introduce you to Gustav. He was a service pigeon with the British Royal Air Force, and his biggest moment came on June 6, 1944, D-Day. As the Allies were storming the beaches of Normandy, the entire fleet had to maintain radio silence to stay off the enemy's radar. That meant Gustav was given the monumental task of carrying the very first piece of news from the invasion back to Britain.
And this was no easy trip. Gustav had to fly 150 miles across the English Channel, and the whole time he was battling a fierce 30-mile-per-hour headwind, flying straight into it. It was this grueling, non-stop flight that took him just over 5 hours. But he made it. He delivered that critical message.
For that incredible feat of stamina and courage, Gustav was awarded the Dickin Medal. Now, this isn't just some cute, symbolic award. It is the highest possible honor an animal can receive for military service. Think of it as their version of the Victoria Cross in the UK or the Medal of Honor in the US. It's the real deal.
And Gustav wasn't the only one. By the time the war was over, 32 pigeons had earned this medal. One of them, a pigeon named William of Orange, flew over 250 miles in just 4 hours. And the message he carried? It saved the lives of more than 2,000 soldiers. But, you know, these heroes weren't just in the sky.
All right, so from the skies to the front lines of the Korean War, I want you to meet a Mongolian mare who earned the rank of Staff Sergeant in the United States Marine Corps. Her name was Reckless. Now, Reckless wasn't just treated like an animal. She was treated like one of the Marines. She would wander freely through the camp and, well, she developed a taste for some, let's call them unconventional treats. We're talking scrambled eggs, chocolate bars. She would even drink beer with the guys. She apparently ate a handful of poker chips one time.
But her real legacy was forged in the heat of combat. Her most legendary moment happened in March of 1953 during the incredibly brutal 5-day battle for Outpost Vegas. Her job was to haul heavy ammunition up to the guns on the front line.
On just a single day of that battle, with enemy shells literally raining down around her, she made 51 separate trips up to the guns. And get this, she made those trips all by herself. She'd learned the routes and didn't need a handler to lead her into the fire. And during those 51 trips, she carried in total over 9,000 pounds of ammunition. That's 4.5 tons on her back. She kept those guns firing in the absolute thick of the fight.
All told, she traveled more than 35 miles that day. That's longer than a marathon, marching through rice paddies and up steep, treacherous mountains over and over again. And she did it while wounded, just to support her fellow Marines.
For her incredible bravery, Reckless was officially promoted all the way up to Staff Sergeant. She was awarded 2 Purple Hearts for the wounds she sustained in battle, a Marine Corps Good Conduct Medal, and she was even included in her unit's Presidential Unit Citations. Just incredible.
Next up, let's talk about a hero from the feline world. This is the amazing story of Simon, the celebrated ship's cat of the HMS Amethyst.
Okay, so first, a quick history lesson to clear something up. You might have heard the legend of Unsinkable Sam, the cat who supposedly survived 3 different shipwrecks. Well, most of the photos you see of Sam are actually of Simon, our hero, with his ship's tag cropped out. It's a classic case of historical mix-up.
And trust me, Simon's real story is more than remarkable enough. In 1949, his ship was attacked in what became known as the Yangtze Incident. A cannon shell ripped through the captain's cabin, right where Simon was. The blast killed the captain instantly and left Simon with terrible burns and shrapnel wounds. The crew really didn't think he was going to make it.
But Simon pulled through. He made a full recovery.
And instead of hiding away, he got right back to his duties. And he had two of them. First, he was a ruthless hunter, taking out the rats that were getting into the ship's precious, dwindling food supplies. And second, his sheer toughness became this huge symbol of resilience for the trapped and wounded crew. He was a morale-boosting, rat-catching international celebrity.
All right, for our final section, we're going to look at two of the most unusual soldiers you could ever possibly imagine. This really proves that heroism can come in any shape, size, or species.
First, let's meet Corporal Jackie. Yes, a baboon. He served with the South African Army in World War I. See, his owner was drafted and just refused to leave Jackie behind, so the Army adopted him as a mascot. But his senses were so sharp, he could hear and smell the enemy long before any human could, that he became the regiment's early warning system for incoming attacks.
And last, but certainly not least, we have maybe the most famous animal soldier of all, Private Wojtek. Wojtek was a Syrian brown bear cub that was adopted by soldiers of the Polish Army's 22nd Artillery Supply Company. When they needed to get on a transport ship, they hit a snag. Regulations said no pets allowed. So what did they do? The only logical thing, of course. They just officially enlisted him into the army. And Wojtek lived the life of a soldier. He'd drink coffee with the men in the mornings. He was known to eat lit cigarettes. He even learned how to salute his officers. But his biggest contribution was his incredible strength. He could effortlessly carry these huge, heavy crates of artillery shells, crates that normally took 4 men to lift, and he never dropped a single one.
So let's just take a step back. A pigeon that brought home the first news from D-Day. A horse who became a staff sergeant resupplying the front lines, a ship's cat who boosted the morale of an entire crew, and a bear who hauled ammunition. These animals weren't just mascots. They were genuine, contributing members of their units who saved lives and absolutely earned their stripes.
These stories are charming, they're unbelievable, but they also really make you think. In the most extreme situations you can imagine, these animals displayed loyalty, bravery, and this powerful, unbreakable bond with their human comrades. It kind of leaves you wondering, what does their extraordinary service really tell us about the unique and profound roles we ask animals to play in our world?